welcome back to Tavern Talk. I am DMDaddy Mike, and with me, I have my first duo on the stream, on the pod today. We have Bill Crisafi and Hogan Mclaughlin. I can never say that last name. That is a very common last name, and it always catches me, so I apologize.
No worries.
Welcome to Tavern Talk, boys. How are you?
Really good. How are you?
Good. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, you two are a multi-hyphenate, and we do not have like enough time to go through it all. So I figured we'd do something really cute here, since you two are together, both romantically and collaboratively. I'd like you each to describe what the other one does in the best of your ability.
Hogan goes first. Well, I've heard him write his bio many times. Yes. So he is a multimedia artist that Bill is, that works in illustration, sculpting, costume, whatever. Like he's a jack of all trades, basically. And his work is rooted in New England folklore and magic and kind of fun little characters that he creates and finds humor through, and yeah,
the cutest little characters.
Hogan is a designer and artist who also used to be a ballet dancer, professional ballet dancer, and his fashion is very like minimalist and structured and architectural, I would say. And his illustration is kind of like, his pen and ink illustration is very like Harry Clark or like Aubrey Beardsley looking fantasy, gorgeous. What else? Did I miss anything? No.
Fiance, if you will.
Yes.
Congratulations, by the way. Welcome to the club. Almost. You're gonna. This ring is gonna feel a lot heavier once it's on your ring finger.
Yeah. Well, 10-year engagement. I think we've already been married, basically. So.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if you, because we're around the same age, but for me, it was my husband and I had been together for, I think it had been like almost 12 years at that point before we even got engaged. Because in my mind, I had reasoned it away. Like it was never something that I had accepted as something that I could take as an option, a path for us, until it was opened up to, first it was New York State, and then first it was Hawaii, and then it was like the surrounding areas, but we were in New York State at the time, and then it was finally available. It was like, oh yeah, but it's not the full country, and then it was the full country, and then I was like, well, I don't really have an excuse here, and I'm a Italian Catholic boy, so it was very much like I'm used to all those really big weddings with all my cousins and aunts and uncles who I don't really talk to anymore anyway, but it was the idea of like, why can't I have this big ostentatious thing?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, that's really expensive, so whatever you decide, I hope it's exactly what you want and not what someone else wants.
Totally. Well, I think both of us were really like, to be engaged for 10 years, we've been thinking about it for so long that we like have very specific ideas, and we kind of this year changed our route to go Vegas. So it's just going to be like really easy and tacky and fun.
I love that.
It's like, it's taking away all of our like expectations of like any sort of like specific elevated aesthetic that we would probably like put pressure on ourselves to get right, and this can just be like pasties and feathers and just be kooky. So
are you designing your own outfits for the wedding is the question?
Yeah.
Which is also something we would not have done if we were getting married in like a class, like if we had gone to like the French countryside or done something really crazy like that. I don't think we would have like decided to wear corsets and feathers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
one thing I do regret looking back is like we wore like traditional suits, like blues, and everyone, it was very heteronormative. I saw someone post something. I was like, I would have wanted all my guests to show up to try and show me up. Like, I want you to wear your biggest feather boa. I want you to wear your weirdest shoes or whatever. Wear something from your closet that you wouldn't normally wear, so that when you look back at these pictures, when I look back at these pictures, it's going to be like, oh my God, that was such a fun night. And people just like, because I think you can attest to this, when you put on a certain type of clothing, especially a structural garment like you're used to making, it kind of shifts your mentality a little bit in terms of how you hold yourself in the world. Now, with your Hogan, with your design aesthetic, is that kind of what you're focusing on in terms of the builds of these garments? And where did that come from? This idea?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been really into history and fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all that type of thing.
Heard of it.
Yeah. So corsetry was always kind of within that historical context. You know, I used to Tim Burton movies and all of that kind of corsetry was really like prominent in my growing up. And when I was dancing, I would design things too for companies, and I still do ballets and things like that. But that's a different mindset that you have to get into because there needs to be motion. And I'm so used to it because I love corsets and I love being structured and I love feeling like your posture changes, your everything changes when you wear one. But yeah, I think I'm sorry. I don't know if I want to.
No, it makes sense. I mean, because corsetry, I think, is always seen as a very feminine structure. But I think from what I've seen in your designs, it's gender neutral in a way. Like we all have ribs at the end of the day, and totally. There is something nice about being kind of constricted a little bit, and it creates this really unique shape, especially on a male presenting body. And you present it very well, I'll have to say. But now that you have someone to tie those strings in the back, it must feel a lot nicer to build these things. But
yank them tight.
It is funny though, because like I would say like 90% of the things that I'm posting of me wearing they're actually made for like a size 00 runway model because they're from my archives from when I did Fashion Week, when I would do things like that. And so if you turn me around, it's like it's not pretty. So I've
party in the back.
Yeah, so I've gotten to the point where I'm now making things for a more wider range of bodies.
Understood. Well, you fooled me because I thought it was just like it looked great regardless. And I think that's kind of the key to like really successful fashion is just like so long as you feel confident in it, and so then you'll look good in it. And totally. I think that's where you've at least inspired me to step up my thought game on Instagram to be like, okay, these poses, this elbow, this, and you both do a great job at it. I mean, like I'll send the fire emojis every once in a while to support, but do you feel like you're getting, because this is where I'm like struggle is like, okay, I recognize people tune in sometimes to see one aspect of my life. And I'm like, but D&D is a big part of my life and being a nerd is a big part of my life. But yeah, I'll open the gates for the thirsty boys. Do you feel like that Instagram or the social medias are truly getting what you're trying to get across to the populace, or is there something missing? I guess is it the right medium for you?
Are you asking just Hogan?
Both of you, yeah.
Oh, okay. You want to go first, or
sure? I mean, I think that like I started very much presenting my things on models, doing the runway circuit and all that stuff. And some people have been like, I've had comments be like, why are you getting so like putting your butt on the internet or like doing all like being a little more exposed? A, it's because I want to, but B, it's also because it's so much cheaper for me to put it on than it is for me to hire a model, hire hair and makeup, hire all of these people to do it. And I don't know.
Well, and half the time he does, like when you go through all of those motions and spend all of that money, people aren't like, they don't appreciate the image as much. Like I think they follow both of us just as much for us as people as they do for what we make. Except I would say for me, it's a little like my art is a little bit more important on Instagram specifically, only because sometimes people don't even know what I look like because I haven't posted myself a lot. I have a lot of people think that I'm a woman, which is fine. I get it. But like, I'm trying to like be better about that. And I would like to be, because obviously I have multiple accounts where I am super thirsty or whatever. I do get a lot of DMs if I'm posting like my book or something in my story. There'll still be thirsty messages just from stuff like that, which is fine. But I don't think that like it's an issue in any way.
I mean, whatever is going to get you to sell more books, I support at this point. But speaking of which, you just released the Glam Reaper's Guide to Slaying. Congratulations. I'm assuming this is your first book that you released?
First. Yeah, I can't even read.
You're pretty on the internet. What do you need to read for?
I don't need to read.
So tell me a little bit what this genesis is and kind of where this came from, what message you're trying to stay with this. And then I would love Hogan's take on it and from like where he sees himself in that, because you guys have been together a long time. I'm sure it's like almost like reading your partner's diary in a way.
This poor kid like having to listen to me constantly asking opinions and stuff about like what I was working on, because it was such a hard project, because I don't know, you're putting yourself out there in like a way bigger way, I guess. So I was actually approached to make a book with Penguin, Random House UK, and I thought the email was fake when I got it because it was like just this really nice girl named Sam that was like, "Hey, what do you think about doing a project with us?" And I was like, "I
Just a
think I'll
cold call
respond."
email.
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay," and I emailed back thinking again it was fake, and then it ended up being real, and so we kind of developed the idea together. And came up with the Glam Reaper's Guide to Slaying. She was like very much into that character in general, which I feel like a lot of people relate to the Glam Reaper, as well as my other characters. But I was in just a really insanely like negative space at the time, just like not really. I was really burnt out on creating art for the algorithm and like selling my art because this is my main source of income. And even if you have a post that goes viral, it gets like 1 million views on it or something, that doesn't really always equate to dollar signs. So
No.
it's like, and putting pressure on myself to like create these things to then like pay rent is like especially when it's like few and far between or you have to have good ideas. It's just getting really hard. And I think that there are smarter ways to go about it with like ad buying and stuff, but I just didn't know how to do it. And this is like back in the pandemic.
Yeah, it's Wild West, and they've changed how we do like ad structures and stuff like that.
Totally.
I get that, but it's also probably frustrating to be like, hey, I'm doing all of this. I'm literally exposing myself on the internet and to the world. And what do I have to show for it other than a thumbs up and a fire emoji? It's like, you're busting your butt on this. And I'm sure Hogan saw that as well, where it's just like, you're working very hard on this project, but it must feel good to at least release it to the universe at this point.
Totally. Yeah. At this point, I was in just that space in general with like not even wanting to like have my online store anymore. I was like, I want to do this for fun again. It would just like make things feel so much better, but I know that that's like not very realistic. And so in the interim of like already having these feelings, my mom called me and was diagnosed with small cell carcinoma.
Oh my goodness.
And I predicted it though. It was the beginning of the pandemic and I knew that she was going to get sick, not from COVID or anything, but I just like felt it. And then it came true, which is insane. But she passed away like while I was writing the book, but the Glam Reaper's personality is fully inspired by her. So
I was going to ask, it feels like there was a real person behind that, and it's such a touching story to know that that's her.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and her and I were super close. So it just I'm so happy the book is out in the world now, but it is just like a kind of sometimes difficult to even like talk about or look at it, just because it is like it's such a charged time I was in, but then like I also don't want it to end because I feel like that's like the last memory I have with her, if that makes sense. So
can I ask, and we can cut this if you don't want to share.
Oh, it's okay.
Could you both share your favorite memories with her, knowing her?
Do you have to think of one?
No,
okay, you can go.
Well, she over the past 10 years, we've had multiple engagement rings because we've upgraded.
Your fingers change.
Yes. Well, just because like we, instead of having a wedding, we just got a bigger ring. But every time I would come around with a new ring, she would like, in a joking way, like smack me and be like, I need to wear that. Like, let me like rip it off my finger and then start wearing it around, which I don't know. I love that.
That's sweet. I love that.
And she always, she likes to whisper, like whisper talk. Like she would say, "Oh my God," but she'd go, "Oh my God," about the ring he had. I loved it.
Oh, that's such
I don't know if I can pick a favorite because there's so many good ones, but I don't know. Like I guess like one of the most memorable things was I was driving with my mom and my dad to the airport. I had stayed with them to go to a friend's wedding, and I was meeting Hogan. Was I meeting you in New York or something? We were going overseas.
We were going to Ireland, I think.
And I was running late, and my mom, or I had on Waze or something to get us to the airport. My dad was driving, and my dad's a truck driver, and they fight like constantly. And she's
also Catholic.
Yes, and like he's Italian and she's like Irish Russian, and she's just like getting so angry at him, like making these insane faces. But and then we like poke each other a lot. Like I think a lot of people on the internet, because I took a video of it and posted it, mistake our relationship, because my dad and I will just be like, oh, I'm gonna kick you in the face, or you just like talk like, I don't know, crazy to each other. And he didn't want to listen to the GPS, and my mom is then freaking out, being like, you didn't turn here, John. And and finally I was like, if I miss my flight, I'm gonna kick you in the face. And then my mom turned around and said, listen to me, if you miss your flight, you're not gonna miss your flight. And that was like her whole sentence. And so no one knows what it means, but she was, I don't know, we like, everyone just like, it totally turned the whole argument around, because it was just so funny and crazy. And at her
played on the radio too.
It got picked up on like Boston radio,
Oh,
because I posted it on TikTok and it went viral. But like, she at her funeral, I had like little keychains made with that quote on it, because it was like so iconic of her. So that was like one fun moment, even though it was like, them arguing, but that's just so constant.
I think it's a testament to your closeness. And I think that's such I'm blessed that I'm close with my parents as well, but it's just this idea that we get to be close with our parents. We get to not only be like growing old as queer people in this day and age, but also be close with our parents, be open about our relationships, and live the adult lives that we want to, while being celebrated at the same time. So thank you for sharing those stories. I think that's beautiful that your mom got to experience you and your relationship, but also she's probably really proud of you right now, just to be able to like celebrate her in this way, but also to expose yourself in such a open way. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, I'm sure this book journey has been a wild ride. How long has it been? Today is August the 26th. So how long has it been out now so far?
It was released in the UK. 1 week today. Is it today? Yeah, 1 week ago today it was released here in the US, and then August 13th in the UK. So 1 week, which is crazy.
How's it feel?
I had no idea that promoting a book is more annoying than writing and illustrating a book. Not in a bad way. I was just like, this is so much work, but it's a lot of fun. But I'll never I will always feel bad for actors when I watch them like doing a press tour.
They're in that same room, and then every single reporter comes in asking every podcaster coming in asking the same question that I'm sure you've answered 10,000 times.
Not even though. I mean, like, I love this, but I just didn't realize also, like, with signings and things like that, like, I didn't know that I was the one that has to, like, schedule all of that.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I just had no clue. And so I'm horrible at scheduling. And so it just, like, the added stress with, like, October coming up, and I spend the month of October in Salem and sell my work there. So it's just a lot of, I don't know, a lot of things to figure out, which is fun though. It's different.
Yeah, you just need a personal assistant. Maybe a witch from Salem can cast a spell for you guys. Now, you're in Chicago right now, but you both spent some time in Salem. I've been to Salem probably twice. I'm from Carmel, New York originally, so I got to travel up there every once in a while. But I guess my question to you two, and maybe you'll have your own answers or different, but we're going to play Kiss, aka the F word, Marry, Unalive, three different sets of witches. The Hocus Pocus. Did you think that was something else? Honestly, same. That's the most action they've gotten on that blanket for months. Look at them. A bunch of queer men on a blanket, and they're just fighting over a shiny Pikachu? Insane. Here's the thing about dating in this city. Everyone's outdoorsy. Everyone loves live music. Nobody will admit that they own a binder specifically for trading cards. You gotta dig. You gotta interview. So you have to ask a stranger at brunch, unprompted, what your Deoxys' psychic damage is?
Now that's a green flag.
That's why there's Gamely, the queer-first app for people who love video games, board games, TTRPGs, card games, and every other thing you used to hide on your other dating profiles. We don't bury it in your bio, we lead with it, because we know your favorite game tells you more about you than any astrology app could.
That was a hollow.
Your next first date could be a picnic that could turn into Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, or just running around with Uno cards stuck to your body. On Gamely, you'll know you find your person the minute that they ask you to stay in and play Baldur's Gate 3 all night. So if you're queer, nerdy, a little feral about trading cards, and looking for someone who gets it, download Gamely today at gamelyapp.com/goblinguys. Gamely,
Stop playing games with people's hearts and start playing games on a picnic blanket with someone who might actually be the one.
Or the Practical Magic Witches.
Oh,
God,
you
that's
motherfucker. That's so hard.
Wait, okay.
I think we're at it's the fuck, marry, kill. That's what, just to clear.
Are we allowed to swear? Is that okay?
We passed the 10-minute mark, so we're good.
Oh,
okay, cool. All right.
I think I have mine.
I have mine.
Okay.
You have yours?
I think this is purely based on like me growing up. I would marry Hocus Pocus because of the like nostalgia of it all. I would fuck Practical Magic because no Hogan and Sandra Bullock, obviously. And then I would probably kill Riches of Eastwick because I didn't grow up with it. I didn't really see it until the past couple of years we've been together. So I don't know. And crucify me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I am going to. This is really hard. I guess the same thing with I will marry Hocus Pocus just because it's so nostalgic, and it was like growing up. I like would pretend to be Sarah Sanderson in preschool, and I brought a mop to school and would sit on a swing and swing with a mop.
I'm having childhood flashbacks when you say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm going to fuck the Witches of Eastwick because it's Michelle Pfeiffer, Susan Sarandon, and Cher. I have to, and even Jack Nicholson. Why not? And then I can't. I don't want to kill Kidman because I'm obsessed with Kidman. But I guess kill Practical Magic, even though I love them.
Well, I think
I can't kill it.
I think that's the right answer because you can't marry or fall in love with them because then you'll die.
True. Oh, true. Yes,
okay,
that's actually a good no, that's a good loophole. I like that.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure you're up on your witches lore. No, it's funny because I am playing D&D. Like, obviously, I'm obsessed. The same thing with what you've just said. These women are just like these pillars of just like, I can do anything. The world can't tell me what I can do. I can choose this. And I get to play that pretend, especially getting to play a woman or pretend to play a woman in D&D. So I look to these pillars of witchdom in my day-to-day playing. But are there any other fictional witches that have inspired you in the past for your current roles?
Macbeth.
Yes.
Can't say that name.
Well, we're not a theater.
I mean, when we were talking about when we were emailing or messaging about like geeking out over things, I truly geek out over witches. Like, we're rewatching Game of Thrones right now, and I'm obsessed with Melisandre.
Yes.
When she takes the necklace off and becomes the hag, and just like, and how she like, there are so many moments for me where I'm like, is she messing with all of them? Like, is she actually like, is this Lord of Light guy, like, is stuff really happening? And then she like brings Jon Snow back from the dead. I'm like, she's the real deal. I love it. But like Tilda Swinton, obviously, I mean,
she's just a witch.
She is a witch. Her entire energy in life, I love. I mean, I could go on forever about every, like, I would list like every single witch. Yes.
Oh yeah. Great headpiece, great corsetry on that. Yeah, no, I think going back to Hocus Pocus, I just reminded myself of how much of a little fag I was. Is that every time that song, I know the song by heart, I can lip sync to it, but I could do the dance, and I remember just swishing around. I played that video like nonstop, and I remember I remember seeing it in theaters, and I could swear to God, like, millennial part of me of like in my early to mid 20s, I was like, no, it was hot out when I saw it. And they're like, everyone's like, no, it came out on Halloween. I'm like, no. And you look back, it came out in like July of all things. And I'm like, that is such a weird thing where I'm like, I don't know why I have all this information. I didn't like the second one. It was just, I realized it wasn't for me. But
same. My
personal witch of all time is Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh yeah. And it's Kirsten Dunst.
Yes. It is a movie that I can watch every single year. It is a tradition of mine where I put it on, and I don't know if this means anything to you. I was born the day before Halloween, so very witchy in my own Scorpio way. But I put on Kiki's and I cry every single time. It is the most relevant perspective of growing up, and I can find something in it every year. Now, I don't have any tattoos, unlike you guys, but if I were to get one, I always say it would be the push broom at the end that she's writing on, because it's like, it's not what she expected her life to be like, but it is her life now, and it's perfect for her right now. And I'm like, it's not like the traditional witch's broom, it is a janitor's broom, and it's like, that's how I want to live my life. And so like I can feel that, like, witches have guided me, and I think the same way that they have guided you, or just powerful women have guided you.
Sure.
But I want to ask, between the two of you, what is a piece of artwork the other one has done that you see yourself in? Like, which frog with a witch's hat has inspired you, Hogan?
I don't know. I feel like more connected to his older work, just because I feel like I'm a little less. I mean, I think I'm sarcastic in real life, but I'm a little more reserved as a person. So his older work, like, that's more black and white and more, it's like dark folklore almost. I think that stuff I relate to a lot, because it's also stuff that I draw to when I'm drawing. I don't know specifically what piece I don't know.
Or character, or anything that like speaks to you. I mean, the book itself, maybe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I guess the Miss Phillip, because that's wearing nice high heels. Yeah, it's fun.
Why not?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say Hogan has this one gown that he made. I don't think he has modeled it before. It kind of looks like a mushroom cloud. It's like a big black, like, mass of is it file?
Yeah,
silk file, and when he made it, I was just like, you bitch. Like, a lot of the time he makes things and I'm like, fuck you, it's so good. But that one in particular, I remember like seeing it for the first time and I was like, I'm obsessed with that. And I feel like it's sort of, I would say I see myself in that.
That's what you'll be wearing to the wedding.
Yeah, kind of, actually. I'm gonna look like a if Big Bird were a Bene Gesserit.
Okay, another witches that we love.
Yes.
Bloodline. I swear to God, it's just like you can't go wrong with women in just full black, speaking in a deep voice and cutting boys with a Gom Jabbar. Sorry, I love Dune. It's like a big.
No, I love it.
Thing for me. But you guys collaborate a lot in terms of just the work that you do, which I look at. Again, I think I've spoken about this on the pod before, but my parents own their own business and they've always worked together. And it's been so fascinating because my husband and I, we love each other, but we're very different in the way that we do our work. And I can kind of get stressed and a little snippy, and he's just like, whatever about the whole thing. How do you guys manage that collaboration as partners at the same time? Like, how do you resolve conflict? How do you kind of give each other the space to express yourself while also creating something new? Like, what is your secret?
We don't speak.
Honestly, we have a big studio, and I'm in one end, he's in the other. And for like the things that we've done for museums, for example, with the masks and the dresses, we kind of just like are left to our own devices, and we know that it's going to work out in the end. And I think what works though is because I am pretty minimalist in my approach to things, and he's much more maximalist. And when you put a character of his on the head of like one of my dresses, it just creates a completely different.
It just works really well because it's like it's not gilding the lily. It's sort of like, because I can easily do that. I add feathers and I just keep adding shit. But once it has like the streamlined garment, it just really works out. And if we do have like a little, not even disagreement, but maybe he's picturing a different color fur of something on what I'm doing, I will probably be a little snippy at first to be like, well, that's not what I want. But then I end up trying it and it looks good. So I don't know. I feel like we work fine in that way. Or like just asking each other's opinions. I think we both value each other's opinions a lot as artists. So there's never a point where like either of us, I think, would get offended by like being honest about like how something is looking, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you have to get over ego though, because like it's hard to do that, but it's like good because you need that feedback and the constructive.
Well, yeah, it helps that you respect each other in terms of the work that you both respectively do. But yes, it's an ego death to a certain extent of just being like, this isn't mine, it's ours, and recognizing you're both coming to the table with the most well-intentioned decisions possible without trying to be mean about it. But it sounds like similar to what my parents did is like a shorthand way of just like, okay, I know what he's doing over there. I don't have to worry about it. And then if there's a snip, that's fine. It was always just a weird, I don't know if you guys do this, but for my parents, it was like I couldn't be in their office when they were working because they were coworkers and they treated each other very differently as coworkers versus as
That's
coming.
so funny.
They was in the basement of my childhood home, so they would go downstairs. My mom would do the books. My dad would do like he builds transmitters, engineers transmitters. So he'd do the technical stuff. My mom would do the books, and they just like snip at each other. And I never liked it because it was like, oh, those aren't my parents. But then they'd come upstairs and they were mom and dad. And I think that like space separation was helpful for them.
Yeah.
Like, and it was for us during the pandemic because I was like, I worked in my office and my husband Roy worked in the bedroom, and like we didn't see each other because we needed to not see each other. So the other question I was going to say is like, do you need to take a break from like the collaboration, or does you feel like there's a connection there?
No, we're so easy with it. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny because when the pandemic happened, everyone was like you were saying, like, I can't see my partner. I can't be in the same house as this person like for too long. But we were living pandemic life prior to the pandemic. Like we see each other pretty much 24/7. And it's funny because like we'll go to the gym and people will be like, I had no idea you guys were together because you don't even acknowledge each other.
We ignore
like,
each other at the gym. Yeah.
We're like, that's our time away from each other, and you know it's fine. And it's
away
not even
together.
Yeah, and it's not even that we need it. It's just like, what else can I talk to you about?
Well, we're not like working. I don't know. We just don't do the same things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I say the pandemic just changed everything, and we know that. But no, I'm not saying anything new and different here. But for individual relationships, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was very much like either people got married and had a baby or completely broke up during the pandemic. There was like no in between. And my husband and I think I was very much like a homebody. I can stay at home, no big deal. But we were so used to, we had our 9-to-5 jobs where we realized about like 3 or 4 months in that we're like, this is the longest contiguous amount of time we have spent together uninterrupted. And we didn't know why we were getting in so many little fights and like finding each other stressed out more often than not. And it was because, we didn't have that natural break of just going to the office and then coming back. And our time was more spent like after work and on the weekends. That's how we knew each other. So it was a great eye-opening experience to be able to spend more time together. And I feel as though we've progressed to something more similar to that, where we're like, we go out and we don't need to say anything because we've already said everything to each other. It's like, just shut up and eat your food so we can go back home and watch Castlevania.
Well, it's about to be a really strange couple months because I'm leaving pretty much all of September to work on a ballet in Charlotte. And then October comes and he's in Salem the whole month. So we're basically going to be we'll see each other like intermittently, but like that's going to be a very long time that we've spent away with each other. Probably in 12 years together.
Lots of love notes, and get a new ring for each other before you leave. So,
totally.
Tell me about this ballet, though. What are you going to be doing with it? And when can we see it?
I think it premieres October 2nd, I believe. I work with this collective called Flock, and it's 2 dancers that I used to dance with a company called Hubbard Street in Chicago, and they came in pretty much like a year after me. So we never danced together, but we knew of each other, and they're very, very much in the like fantasy realm, medieval. They just did a dance film we shot in LA, and it was based on the Holy Grail. So I got to costume her, and I got to costume Morgana and all those things, which is really cool.
Another wish.
So exactly, yeah. And so we've been kind of collaborating for the past like 3 or 4 years now, and yeah.
It's in North Carolina, you said?
It is, yeah. And
where
it's
in North Carolina?
Charlotte.
I went to school at Wake Forest in Winston-Salem.
Oh, cool.
So I love North Carolina. So I mean, like, the state is a little backwards, obviously. I'm not going to move there anytime soon. But there's something very easy for me when I go down. My mother-in-law lives down there now. So it's just like whenever we go, I'm like, okay. She's a big at home, I'm going to cook for you. She literally says before we come, she's like, Roy, you get a night, his sister gets a night, and I get a night of like the food that we request her to cook, like specifically for us, which is just so like heartwarming. And then she's like, well, do you want anything specific? And I'm like, honestly, can we stop at Bojangles? Because I just want the sweet tea, I want the biscuit, I want the fried chicken, I want to like. And she's like, "That's gross. I can make you better food." And I was like, "No, but you don't understand. It's North Carolina, and I don't get that up here."
Yeah, totally.
So I hope you get to experience some Southern cooking while you're down there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of free time, I think, so I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Well, there's plenty of things. I'm sure that there's, I don't know, a UC Chapel Hill game you can go to. I don't know. What do people do down there anymore? So, have you, based on your breadth of experience with the fantasy realm, I'm assuming, have you guys even played D&D at this point, or have you? I'm assuming you know about it.
We know about it. We actually have friends that play it, and we've asked to play it.
Yeah,
And they haven't said yes.
They've casually invited us, but then no one ever follows up, and life gets in the way. It's partially our fault too, because we also live in sort of a different neighborhood than a lot of our friends that play it. So I think they're just like, they'll call each other up last minute and be like, "Okay, we're doing a night tonight," and we're kind of an afterthought, which is fair. I get it.
So, well, and if they already start it, right? Like when they start it's because you can't like jump in.
You can jump in. Don't let anyone think that you can't jump in. A good DM, I literally am losing a player on one of my tables, and I've just got another one in. And it was very much my project manager, where he was like, one of my players is going upstate to like direct something, which is great. I always said, focus on work, get your money. This is not being paid. So the minute he said that, I was like, okay, who can I go through? Rolodex. Oh, there's someone I know who said that they wanted to, blah, blah, blah. Connected them. Give me your backstory, blah, blah, blah. And I'm already connecting the pieces of how I can slot this person in. But there's also one-shots. And that's the best part, is like, you will create a number of different personalities that you've been wanting to express in the form of a dark elf woman that can blast people with fireballs. So that's what you wanted it to be. But the reason I brought this up is I wanted to help you guys kind of create your characters and kind of based on your personalities, what I think you would play as. So we can start with Hogan first. If you would be, what would you rather be? Would you rather be a frontline fighter or a backline fighter? Like up close and personal with a sword, or a bow and arrow?
I'd probably be a bow and arrow. I think that's more elegant.
More elegant. Now, would you be in the back casting spells from like causing damage, or would you be supporting your friends?
I think I'd be supporting my friends.
So it sounds like you'd probably be more of a healer. Like I probably either a druid or a cleric at this point.
I can see it. Yeah.
And then, so for Bill, same questions. Would you be up close fighting physically, or in the or far back?
I think I'd be in the back. I don't know if
would you be supporting your friends, or would you be causing some damage?
I'd probably cause damage. But I want to be a druid.
You could be a druid. You both could be druids. That's the best part, is they're so different in terms of what they can become. And that's the best part about the current situation, is when you choose druid, they're like, do you want to be more spellcastery, or do you want to turn into an animal? So
cool.
Yeah. So if you want to turn into a giant bear, you're halfway there with the beard. So it's just like, go for it.
Yeah, easy.
I always encourage like the idea, especially now at this point, because pretend was always such a big part of my life growing up. I'm an only child, and like playing with my toys was always just like a release for me. So one of the main reasons I want to chat with you guys is because I can see that pretend that you guys have experienced in your life. Can you share with me like those earliest memories of what pretending was like for you as a kid, and where you see that in your adult life, and especially your art?
Are you going? I kind of feel like I reverted back to all of my childhood interests, like after I kind of realized during college that everything that I loved as a kid is like what I still love now. I was in school for fashion design as well. And while I was there, I realized that I wasn't designing clothes for models to wear. I was world building, and I really liked building the world of these like ghostly, witchy women in these insane outfits. So that's why I ended up transferring out and going to art school. But when I kind of realized that I was still drawn to like the witches and fantasy and everything, because I Sorry, I should have started somewhere else in the story. I was I was able to work at Rodarte's fashion show in, I think it was 2010, 2011. And that was sort of when I realized that I could be inspired by anything for what I was making. And I think it was a spring show that was inspired by the Macbeth witches, but I went through, they gave us a pamphlet of all of the images they were inspired by, and they had the Skeksis from Dark Crystal in there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. And I love them so much. And all of the images were everything that I loved as a kid. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And then the models came out, and the coolest, like, it looked like scraps of clothing or scraps of fabric you'd find on the floor and like pin in these like insane ways. And then their shoes were called Talon shoes, and they were these really tall high heels that they were so hard to walk in, and they were really spiky looking and really like dangerous looking. And they had black sand as the runway, and I was like, this is everything to me. So
I've seen all your characters in these outfits at this point.
Exactly. Yes. And so that's sort of when I realized that I can be like, take things that I loved as a kid and like totally like implement them into my artwork now, back then. And then it sort of just stayed that way. And so I go back to those times, like in my backyard, my dad built me a zip line off of 2 trees so I could fly like a witch again, or just like walking through the woods with a cloak on, or, just like jumping into leaves and like casting spells and making my mom drink a potion that I made out of household things that she probably pretended to drink, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it just all goes back.
The capes and gay men just kind of go hand in hand, I think, at this
hand
point.
in hand. Totally.
Hogan, do you have any pretend memories of pretend when you were younger?
I have like a very queer family, very gay family. My best friend growing up was my cousin, who was also gay, and we were little boys together, and we would put like towels on our head, and we would always be like princesses, or we would play mermaids all the time because we would go in Lake Michigan and do that. But it's funny because thinking about like now what I would do, and even like how I make Halloween costumes for myself or my D&D campaign, if I was ever to have one, I think now I tend so much more towards the masculine. I don't know why, because maybe it's because I have a different sense of myself nowadays, like than I did back then. But I don't think I would want to play as like a witch or a woman, or I don't know. I feel very much I want to lead out that hero fantasy, that Aragorn fantasy. I don't know.
Well, that's the best part is I had a DM tell me a long time ago is every character you play is just a version of yourself you're not fully able to express on a daily basis. And that could just be because you have a job and you can't go off adventuring with your friends to save the world. Like, this is why I love doing it, is because there are so many things I could be doing with my life to try and like better the world for other people. But I recognize I can also do something for my community and the people that I care about. And if part of it is allowing people to feel that release of frustration and anger at the world and not being able to do anything, it's just like we're intentionally coming together to spend time together. What's more radical than that? Like, in such a divided internet world, it's like, no, my friends are physically coming to my apartment to spend time with me because they enjoy the time and effort that we make in doing that. So and I think you guys bring that too, to a certain extent, of like the art that you provide. It's people want to come to that because you are expressing that pretend version that you had of yourself way back when, with the capes and the zip lines and the potions. It is permission to feel childlike again. And I think that's where I'm drawn to all of these same things, because as a man who's almost 40, I find myself holding back sometimes. And I'm like, no, I'm the most nerdy, queerest, open version of myself. Why am I having such a difficult time doing a witch's cackle at the table with my best friends? Which I'm like, I know what they sound like. So I finally committed to it. And my producer and friend Nathaniel, who is big old theater queen, has been pushing me to like commit to the accent, commit to the pretend, commit to the weird, because it's more enjoyable that way. And I just connected and I did that. And I was like, I saw these smiles light up as I did this weird little witch's cackle of a witch that was kind of manipulating my group at that time.
I definitely think that's going to be like the hump for at least for me to get over, because I can be so self-reflective and so like internal, like so to perform in that kind of way in such an intimate setting is going to take a minute for me to like figure out.
Just with most things, and you kind of talked about it in your collaborative effort, it's about surrounding yourself with the people you feel comfortable being vulnerable with, being weird with. Not everyone gets to see my weird side. I have no problem showing my butt on the internet, but like no one gets to understand why Kiki's delivery service makes me cry, because they have to know me, and that's like something secret almost. But like I'm realizing now, I'm like, no, we're all those little gay boys flying in the back with a cape who want to turn into animals and drink potions, and we should be able to do that freely and openly now as men in this world. But yeah, I think you guys are really inspiring in what you're being able to do that, because I now see this like vision of your collaborative effort. And I guess my question now is like, where does this collaborative effort go? You said you've worked in museums before, but like, do you have a vision for like what the Bill and Hogan brand is going to be in the future?
I think we're opening a store.
I love that.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Sorry, the sun is also like.
I know it's rising. I know it's getting crazy. I think we'll probably. I mean, we've been talking about opening a store in Salem, Mass, for a long time. I've wanted to for years, and I think it's a good step for us too, because we do this like holiday party at our house where we go all out with insane decorations and stuff, and I could just really see us transforming a space in a way, like using it as like kind of a like an installation sort of. So like installation in the space, but then just like be able to sell fun stuff. And I don't know,
crystals. We had ideas to do like the Bergdorf Goodman windows, but in Salem, because like I can't really, like, the price point for a lot of stuff I make is not
it's not gonna happen.
So in order for me to be able to like contribute my art to it, we get to do these hopefully these window installations that will be sort of its own kind of draw, aside from shopping. So,
and that's the thing, all you need is that one rich white gay that comes in from out of town who's like, yes, I need that in my Upper East Side apartment. I'm going to spend the full cost of what it is to transport it as well. Thank you so much. Here's your rent for the rest of the year.
Totally.
For sure.
But do you know what it's going to be called, or what you're going to sell there?
Well, I know what I want it to be called, and I don't know if it can happen, but I want it to be called Hags.
I love it. Yes, with a Z at the end. No, no, that's amazing. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, we'd sell some of my stuff that's already in my online store, and then the other thing that I think it would help me with is like taking the pressure off of always having to create products. I like doing. I think product development should take more time than like in planning, and I think I'd be allowed that, like if we were wholesaling things from other small makers and stuff like that. So we'll see. I mean, again, it's like early stages, but that's what we're hoping to do.
I see. If I had a tarot card, I'm sure it would pull up like the sun or the tower reversed or whatever. Yeah, I think the sun is the abundance one, or I just got this new tarot card app for like a daily reading. I don't know how accurate it is, because it's just like it's probably just feeding me something. It's not truly random, but I'm starting to understand it, because I'm like, I feel like I need more guidance in my life. And I'll tell you why after this, because I haven't made an announcement yet. But there's a big change coming in my life towards the end of the year. And it's just like, I feel like I need more guidance, I need more direction, and it's like, I'm not going to go to the Catholic Church for that. So I might as well ask the universe through some witchy means. But yes, I see that for you guys. But the thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know if this is something you're able to do in your current physical space, but do you have the most magically charged or haunted object in your house right now?
Ooh, we might have gotten rid of a lot of those.
Bad juju.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything haunted anymore. No, I don't. And when we lived in Salem, we had plenty of things that, like, I had found. We went into this like really old cemetery, and the sign for the cemetery had broken off and was like almost like covered in dirt. And so I took the cemetery sign, because it was like it was literally just like discarded. I had a lot of weird stuff that I'm happy to not have anymore. We had this turkey leg that we thought was cursed that someone gave our household. It wasn't like a gift to one of us, but it was just like a weird turkey leg that like a petrified leg.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at least at the very least, some pardoned turkey or some Thanksgiving meal is going to come back to haunt you at the
Yes,
very least.
probably.
So just
I
be
think the most
careful.
haunted thing right now in our house is our cat Banu, because
Yeah.
he wails at night. So
He's a banshee.
He probably sees spirits.
Yeah.
It's or however close you are to Boys Town at this point, to the wailing that you might hear. Well, I thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been a magical experience. I wish you the best of luck with all of your endeavors. But before we go, could you let the goblins know where they can find you?
I am at Hogan Mclaughlin on Instagram. I am at Obscure Verses on everything else. The like spicy, thirsty, whatever. That's all there.
Nice.
I'm Bill Safi on Instagram and BillCrisafi.com for my online store. And then you can buy the Glam Reaper's Guide to Slaying, I think anywhere books are sold, but I have a link in my profile. You can get it on Amazon, your favorite bookstore. If you order from Unabridged in Chicago, you can get a signed copy. Yes, and then my spicy sites are all Nate Thorne, Knate. I've never spelled that out loud.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Yes.
Well, yes, again go by Glam Reaper's Guide to Slaying. I was going to ask, do you know if they have the physical copies in the store in Chicago? Because I knew I was going to come and I wanted to buy it from the store itself. Okay, so I'm going to plan on buying it there and support you.
That's
that
so
way.
sweet of you. Thanks.
Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to pay people. I don't want to like accidentally get some like weird Amazon-esque shipping.
For sure,
thing.
I know.
So give it as much of my money to the small operated businesses and people like yourself.
Totally. I'm literally, after we finish recording, I'm going and signing copies at their store right now.
Awesome. I'm going to text you afterwards to make sure I have the correct address, but I'm going to buy it, and I can't wait to read it page to page on my way back from Chicago.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you boys so much. I hope to see you in person soon.
Same.
Good night.